see 12B putting his hand to try to also intervene and help separate them. Now I know it goes by quickly, and you're not as familiar with all these people, so I want to kind of break it down a little bit for you and show you what the evidence that you're going to receive throughout this case. The first person that you see in that video is the victim, Mr. Efron.
By the way, not that it really matters. There's like a Rihanna tracker in this whole thing. I don't know why people love Rihanna, right? Rihanna has not shown up to any pretrial proceedings, nor has she shown up in court as of yet to witness or watch any of the current court proceedings. Okay? People do expect, as this case gets a little bit further along, that she will show up, and if not, at least for the verdict that will be read eventually, or at least some status on what the jury says. They believe that she'll show up at that time. Trust me, I love Rihanna and everything, but people have this, Rihanna got this whole thing going on with her. Like, people love the fuck out of her, so they're tracking if she shows up. This is how much people don't, like, not that they don't care about Rocky, but they're like, all right, Rocky, it's all good, man. Yo, I hope you beat your case, but where's Rihanna at?
The second person who you see, who is instantly confrontational with Mr. Efron, is the defendant, Mr. Mayers. You see on the video that Mr. Mayers is immediately aggressive towards Mr. Efron. He's pulling at Mr. Efron's sweatshirt, and he's pushing Mr. Efron backward and pushes him off camera, out of camera view. The third person that you see, as I told you, is Elijah Ulanger, who also goes by ASAP Ills, or he might just be referred to as Ills throughout this.
So this is Ills, right?
If you look closely, you can actually see his stage name embroidered on the jacket that he's wearing there. And what he tends to do is to de-escalate the situation, to get between the two men and to physically separate them. And you'll see that all three of them go off screen for a period of time. Mr. Efron will tell you that during the period of time that they are off screen is when the defendant first produces that semi-automatic pistol from his waistband. He pulls it out of his waistband and he's holding it to Mr. Efron. Mr. Efron will tell you that the defendant pointed the gun at his chest and was essentially trying to point the gun around Ills, who was between them.
Wow.
That at the time that he was pointing the gun at Mr. Efron.
Well, so here's one of the things I'm trying to look for. I'm looking for motive, right? Obviously, that's another thing that's really big in these trials. Why does ASAP Rocky want to shoot his group mate? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, we've, and again, I'm a little bit, I guess, let me not say traumatized, okay? Before people are like, you're trying to be a victim. I get people don't live in the real world, but when you got friends, y'all squabble, y'all fight. Me and all my friends, sometimes we've gotten into it, right? I ain't never got so mad at a friend that I'm like, I gotta shoot this nigga. And if I was supposed to think, why would that happen or occur? I have a few things I would be thinking. Relly must have embarrassed Rocky. Because why? Yeah, even if y'all just fought, like, whatever, y'all just fought. Like, you got other not gang, but like, you got other niggas around you, they were gonna break it up. Why do you feel you gotta shoot him? Maybe he did something that embarrassed you that now your ego is kicking in. I'm thinking out loud. Like, why would you have to shoot the nigga? Somebody says Rocky don't do drugs. Rocky doesn't come across like a drug addict. I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody said it was just a skit, Your Honor. I'm going to be honest with you, chat. And again, we talking as niggas. I hope you understand that. I'm actually surprised that Relly is really going forward with this. I know he was shot, but come on, bro. Like, yo, these are all your friends. I'm pretty sure niggas gonna be like, yo, bro, Rocky gonna give you like 200,000, bro. Like, bro, drop that shit, nigga. Bro, like, we bros, like, yo, he was definitely wrong. That nigga should never pull out a gun on you. But, like, bro, you can't be, like, talking to the police. You can't be about to testify on him and go to jail. I thought that was going to happen. Honestly, I swear, I thought that was going to happen. Rocky going to slide some money. They probably going to deal with it because they fam at the end of the day. We don't know how close they are. Yo, yeah, I was tweaking, my bad, bro. But, like, if homie is not there to testify, or he says to the DA, I'm not cooperating no more, Rocky's not facing nothing. Now, I do know, I think he was thinking about, or maybe he did file like a civil suit. But, bro, like, y'all could deal with that internally. Yo, Rocky about to send you 300, bro. He about to send you 300, but, like, bro, you gotta drop this shit. Like, bro, this shit is crazy. This is a bad look. It's a bad look for the mob, bro. Like, chill. Nah, no. Like, y'all little woke motherfuckers. Okay, but like, oh my God, no. No, but that's how shit goes down, bro.
He was also threatening Mr. Efron. I'm going to kill you. Keep in mind, these men have known each other for a long time. And Mr. Efron will tell you, in his state of mind, he never believed that he was going to be shot. He never believed that the defendant would actually shoot him. He will tell you that had this been a stranger, someone he didn't know as well, he would have been petrified. As you can imagine, anyone pointing a gun at you would upset you. But he knows the defendant. He knows that Mr. Mayers is not going to shoot him. He knows so much so that he'll tell you he looked at the defendant and said, if you brought a gun, you should shoot it.
Wait, so Relly tells Rocky, nigga, if you brought a gun, shoot it. And I guess Rocky's like, well, you think I'm a bitch? Bow! Oh, shit.
That's how confident he is that he knows the defendant is not going to pull that trigger. Now, the fourth person you can barely see on this video as they come back into frame, I told you, is Jamel Phillips, who goes by 12E or ASAP 12. And you can just see his hand at the very bottom of the screen. When they come back on screen, and specifically when Mr. Mayers comes back on screen, you can see the gun in his hand. You will hear that that gun that he's holding is a semi-automatic pistol, or has features that are consistent with a semi-automatic pistol. Right now, as it's paused on the screen, you can see that he's holding that gun behind his back. But you will also see the gun come forward in front of his body before he ultimately tucks it back into his waistband.
Wait, hold on. Y'all can see, hold on.
You can see that he's holding that gun behind his back. But you will also see the gun come forward in front of his body before he ultimately tucks it back into his waistband. And you will see from the video that there were bystanders. As I said, this is a busy Saturday night in Hollywood, walking by as this confrontation is taking place.
Now, again, I want to keep like pausing it, right? But so again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in A$AP Rocky's team. I do think it's a risky method to go with, to say what you think is a gun in my hand is not a gun, but the police are gonna, not the police, the DA is gonna spend time they're gonna prove, well, even if you're claiming this wasn't a gun, well, who fired the shots that happened at that particular place, and the injuries that he suffered, how are those consistent with a gunshot, but it's not you?
You will hear that right after that encounter that you saw, that Mr. Mayers walked away and was walking down Argyle towards Selma. Mr. Efron will tell you that as he walked away, he looked over at 12E, Mr. Phillips, and he saw 12E putting a pocket knife away. And Mr. Efron, and then 12E, Mr. Phillips, walked behind the defendant, Mr. Mayers, and Ills walked behind him as well. So the three men that had come to confront Mr. Efron walked away down Argyle towards Selma. And Mr. Efron will tell you that at that moment, his mindset about the initial confrontation changed. I told you that Mr. Efron will tell you when he first went there, he believed that this was meant to be a confrontation so that they could strengthen their relationship. But having just had a gun pointed at him and seeing another friend putting away a pocket knife, that his mindset changed, and he understood these men never came here to try to make peace with him. That it was always meant to be a confrontation. And he decided at that moment that having a gun pointed at him was sort of a bridge too far in their friendship. And he understood he was probably never going to have the same friendship.
Okay, all right.
That you're seeing from that the video that
so essentially they're showing a couple of videos.
Actually get to watch camera.
I think this is when the police show up. They're canvassing the area for, you know, anything that was dropped, because people start running after the shots allegedly were fired. So they're looking for casings, other stuff.
That captures the police response. After this shooting, the evidence will be that all four of these men, the defendant, 12E, Ills, and the victim, all left the scene. You'll hear that there were at least two people who called 911 to report this crime, who were just people living in the surrounding area, not actually in.
Okay.
They searched the